It's Money Monday, where we unpack books that can help you master money, build wealth, or rethink your relationship with finance and economics. Hey friends, it's Marmie here. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Why is it that some people with million-dollar paychecks go broke, while others, who spend their careers sweeping floors, quietly retire with seven figures? Why do smart people make financially dumb decisions? And sometimes dumb luck makes someone rich. And here's the kicker. If most of us know what we're supposed to do with money, why is it so hard to actually do it? Today, we're diving into The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a book that doesn't just tell you what to do with your money, but helps you understand why you behave the way you do with it. And trust me, it's not about numbers or spreadsheets. It's about your brain, your history, and all the emotional baggage you didn't know you were carrying into that online shopping cart. You'll see a mind map up on the screen throughout today's episode, just to help you keep track of where we're going and how each idea connects. Think of it as a mental cat tree. You can hop around if you like, but we're going to explore it step by step. All right, let's start with this. No one's crazy. Sounds forgiving, right? And it is. That's the tone Housel opens with. When someone spends their rent money on sneakers or hoards cash in a box under their bed, what seems irrational to us actually makes perfect sense to them. It's based on where they've been. Imagine two people. One grows up during the Great Recession, watching their parents lose their jobs and struggle to pay the bills. The other rides through the tech boom, surrounded by stories of overnight success. Fast forward 20 years. One clings to every dollar like it's a life raft. The other treats risk like it's a trampoline. That gap? That's not stupidity or genius. That's experience. And Housel says that's the first key to understanding money. Your behavior is a product of your past, not a reflection of your IQ. So if everyone's doing money through their own emotional lens, what's the role of skill? That brings us to luck and risk, the twin forces no one likes to admit are running the game. Housel shares the story of Bill Gates, who had access to a computer in high school in the 1960s. That was like being handed a spaceship while everyone else was still figuring out bicycles. Meanwhile, his friend Kent Evans, just as smart, just as driven, died in a tragic accident. That randomness, that's life. And money lives in that same unpredictable place. Let that sink in for a second, because if we don't acknowledge luck and risk, we end up judging others unfairly or beating ourselves unnecessarily. It also tempts us into the trap of never enough. Ever had that feeling? You're doing fine, but someone else just bought a second home and a boat, and suddenly your fully functional Honda Civic feels sad. Housel gives us the story of Rajat Gupta, who went from poverty in India to running McKinsey. He had over $100 million, but he wanted to be a billionaire. One bad choice later, he ended up in prison. Why? Because he didn't know where enough was. It's like going to a buffet and stuffing your plate, not because you're hungry, but because someone else grabbed the lobster. We all do it, but chasing more just because someone else has it, that's the kind of hunger that can't be fed. So, how do you build real wealth? The kind that lasts, that doesn't just go poof when life gets messy. The answer is almost boring. Compounding. It's not sexy, it's not loud, it's a snowball rolling slowly down a hill, but give it enough time and it becomes unstoppable. Warren Buffett didn't just get rich because he's smart, though he is. He got rich because he started investing at age 10 and kept going into his 90s. Over 90% of his wealth came after his 65th birthday. That's compounding. That's momentum. And that's patience. But here's the catch. Getting rich and staying rich, totally different games. Getting rich is offense. Risk-taking, bold bets, big swings. Staying rich is defense. Humility, caution, and knowing when to back off. Housel uses Jesse Livermore to illustrate this. Livermore made a fortune betting against the stock market in 1929. Huge win. But he couldn't stop gambling. He lost it all. Think poker. You start by playing hard, but once you've got a pile of chips, your goal shifts. You protect what you've built. And speaking of protection, here's a mind-bending idea. Tails, you win. In finance, most of your success might just come from a few good moves, your tail events. Apple's dozens of product flops were all made irrelevant by one hit, the iPhone. Michael Jordan missed thousands of shots, but the ones he did make changed history. The point is, you don't need to be right all the time. You just need to stay in the game long enough for your big wins to show up. So, what's the point of all this? What are we actually buying with money? Freedom. That's it. That's the whole point. Not the Lambo, not the status. Freedom. The ability to wake up and choose how to spend your day. Housel gives this wonderful contrast. Someone making $500,000 but glued to their inbox versus someone making far less but with time to hike, rest, be present. The second person, actually wealthier because they own their time. Which brings us to the man in the car paradox. You know how we sometimes buy things to impress people? Fancy clothes, new gadgets, designer furniture. Here's the twist. Nobody's thinking, wow, that person is amazing. They're thinking, I wish I had that. Admiration doesn't transfer, it reflects. So real wealth, it's what you don't see. It's the money not spent, the savings not posted, the investments quietly growing. Like the person with a modest lifestyle and a strong portfolio versus someone flashing their wealth but buried in debt. You'd never know from the outside who's actually wealthy. And that's kind of the point. Let's pause for a moment and take a breath. Here's a quick recap so far. We've seen that financial behavior is emotional, not rational. That luck and risk shape outcomes far more than we like to admit. That chasing more can destroy what you already have. That compounding and patience are wealth's secret weapons. And that true wealth is freedom, not things. All right, feeling grounded? Let's keep going. To get there, you don't need a grand strategy. You just need to save money. Regularly, quietly, even if you don't know what it's for. Why? Because life is uncertain. And savings, they're your cushion, your safety net, your ability to respond, not react. And the best financial plan? It's not the rational one, it's the one you can live with, that you'll stick to on good days and bad. Maybe that means paying off a low-interest mortgage early just to sleep better, or keeping extra cash even if it's not efficient. That's okay. Reasonable beats rational. Every time. Because, spoiler alert, you're going to change. Your dreams, your values, your needs. Rigid plans break. Flexible ones bend. And in finance, as in yoga, bendy is better. Expect surprises, prepare for them, build room for error. Have a buffer. Don't max out. Housel compares this to your phone battery. No one likes living at 1%. And when things get hard, when everyone's panicking, remember, pessimism feels smart, but optimism, that's where the long-term wins live. Stay in the game, keep going. Let your compounding snowball roll. So, how do we bring this all together? By defining your version of enough, by tuning out the noise of other people's financial games, by sticking to a plan that gives you peace, by saving not just money, but time. Because at the end of the day, the best financial strategy is one that helps you sleep well, wake up calm, and spend your time how you want. All right, friends, before we wrap up, here's your gentle reminder. The money map and a clean, cozy summary of today's episode are both available to download totally free in my Buy Me a Coffee shop. Links in the description. And hey, if you enjoyed this and want to support the channel, you can grab me a coffee while you're there. Also, if you're curious to read the full book, you can find my Amazon affiliate link down below. It helps the channel out at no extra cost to you. Money doesn't have to be complicated, but it does have to be yours. Your rules, your game, your peace. See you next time. I'll be here, curled up with another book and a big idea to share. Marmie out.